back again with Seaboss, designer of the yearbook. So you're not the head editor?
No.
Who's the head editor?
I don't know.
Great. Awesome. Wonderful. This is the Darn Around episode in which we darn around.
We can't say certain words.
We can't say naughty wood. We don't want to say naughty woods.
We want to keep our funding.
We don't want to get grounded. So yeah, this is flex time now. Same day as we recorded the other one, just without a camera because I was too lazy to get it out.
Yeah, and I'm all sweaty from gym class.
Sweaty. So
No.
how's your day been since
Since a couple hours ago?
Yeah, man.
Pretty good.
That's nice. You excited for any future movies that are coming out in the next couple months for this year?
21 Bridges.
21 Bridges?
Yes.
Never even heard of it until this very second.
Starring Chadwick Boseman, directed by the Russo brothers, who also happened to direct Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers:
Yeah, okay, I know who
Infinity
the
War, and
Russo brothers are,
Avengers Endgame.
and that same movie got really crappy reviews, just so you know.
But it looks good. You know what else got crappy reviews? Joker.
Yeah.
Everyone else loved. Most other people loved.
Uh-huh. There you go.
So I want to go see it. Because it's one of those things. It's got a really cool stylized poster. The trailer was made really good.
You mean
so it's got a chance, right?
this poster?
Yeah, that one.
So that poster is what you were talking about. Sorry, a little technical difficulties there. So the poster that looks like it was copied from The Martian, literally.
Yes, but we don't talk about The Martian.
Martian was a good movie, though.
It may have been copied, but
However, shut up.
it looks cool.
I mean, frankly, that poster is just like every Matt Damon movie ever. Matt Damon. Matt Damon movie poster meme. See? Look at this.
Yeah, you're not wrong
The
there.
Adjustment Bureau, Elysium, Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne and The Martian all have text over the face, which is exactly what 21 Bridges is doing.
Yeah. But I mean, Matt Damon sort of moved on to being a cameo guy now. So, I think it's up to Chadwick Boseman to take up that mantle.
I hope not. He's a good actor. He shouldn't be wasted on cameos.
That's true. Deadpool 2, Thor Ragnarok.
Deadpool 2 had one of the greatest cameos with The Invisible Man with Brad Pitt. That was hilarious. That was like, I literally thought like 10 minutes before that, you know, what if like we see the Invisible Man for a second and he's like Brad Pitt or something, and then it happened, and then I thought I was being Truman Showed. You ever seen The Truman Show?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Basically, it's like this guy's entire life is a TV show. So I low-key think about that every single day. It's like, if I was getting Truman Showed, you'd tell me, right? And then that was a video that I saw that was like, so if I was getting Truman Showed, you'd tell me, right? And then you hear like on a walkie-talkie, he's like, change the subject. Oh man, Jim Carrey, what a guy! That's who stars in Truman Show.
Oh, I like Jim Carrey.
No, you don't.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
If you say so.
What's your favorite Jim Carrey movie then?
What was that one? I really loved it as a kid. It was the movie of a series of unfortunate events. He played 3 characters.
I had the GameCube game of that.
It was a really
Show
good
or
book series too.
Book series, that's what it is.
And then it came out as a show series, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite is probably Truman Show or The Mask. Somebody
The
stop
Mask.
me. Woo! I love Jeff Daniels. Did you know Jeff Daniels went to Central Michigan? Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah. We're going. He was born in Georgia but lives in Chelsea, Michigan.
Oh.
I loved him in The Newsroom. I mean, that, pretty much what everybody says. Like, that's like if you don't say Jeff Daniels for Dumb and Dumber, it's the newsroom.
What's Dumb and Dumber?
What was your like most disappointing movie? Like, that was based off a book series, but you were like just completely destroyed about? Like, the most basic answer, I think, is like Half-Blood, or what was whatever the last Harry Potter movie was? Or Mockingjay?
Deathly Hallows Part 2. I think there's a lot of movies that I was disappointed after reading the book and watching the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think the worst one for me was Allegiant from the Divergent series. Ending was completely different, and just because of that, it pissed me off.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. V says it, we're fine. It was like, in the book, Triss, spoiler alert, kills herself in order to save everyone else. In the movie, she lives just to please audiences. Another bad one was The Shining. Incredible book. Movie did not live up to it. Movie was still okay if you hadn't read the book. Like, even Stephen King hated the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote the book.
Yeah. Thing with the movie, though, is that even though it didn't follow the book, it still was like one of the greatest horror, alleged greatest horror movies. You know the baseball bat scene?
Yeah.
You know how many times that was filmed? How many times she had to do that? 127. Stanley Kubrick made her do it 127 times.
Like, there are different ways that you can, like, process a film when judging it.
Uh-huh.
You can judge it based off of it being a movie,
mm-hmm.
and then you can judge it based off of the other elements, and then you can judge it off of what the movie is based from.
Yeah.
If you judge it what it's based from, a lot of times it's gonna suck.
Ready Player One.
Exactly.
Woo-wee, that.
But if you judge it based on elements, which includes writing, acting, all this other stuff combined, visuals, but if you judge it as a movie, that's everything as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of gives it that rating that you see on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a very invalid website for everything. But that's my point.
Yeah, when you speak of visuals, like, I agree with that, because in El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie, Breaking Bad is known for like its fantastic visuals and creative cinematography, pardon me. But like, I didn't really think that El Camino lived up to that. I didn't think they had enough rare shots. Like, a lot of times they'll zoom in on, like, one episode that comes to mind is when, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Breaking Bad yet, Christian, they zoom in on a spider, and then a kid picks up the spider who's dirt biking in the desert, and then eventually one of the characters shoots the kid because he saw them commit a crime. And then what rolls out of his jacket is the spider in the jar. So it was like this long show of just foreshadowing, just that one little bit, like, what does the spider have to do with anything? Or the fly episode in season 3 of Breaking Bad, where they zoomed in on a fly, and then Walter obsesses over the fly because it's a contaminant in the place, and he's just freaking out. And I just didn't think El Camino had that. Anyway, back to my original question. The book series most disappointing one, either The Dark Tower or Ready Player One. Because I loved the Dark Tower book. I think they did great with...
I remember you did hype up that movie a lot.
Yeah. I loved Idris Elba. His acting was great. So was Matthew McConaughey. The acting was great. The writing was horrible. And the reload scenes, which, I mean, I'm going to be pretty basic action-adventure movie, but the reload scenes were so awesome. Like, he spun the gun and just dropped the bullets in.
Ooh.
Oh. And he did it, like, really quick. Man, I feel like this is like the podcast 98% of the time is us just debating movies.
Well, because movies are what we live off of.
I mean, if you're not watching movies, what are you doing?
You know what? Let's move on to a different subject.
TV shows. So Dexter, disappointing last 4 seasons, because nobody's ever talked about that. Whew.
Yeah. Still haven't seen it. Plan on watching it. I plan on sitting through everything that people say are horrible, including those last couple seasons.
The last episode, just disgusting. Anyway.
Why'd you give your kid away?
To a known serial killer. So yeah, one thing I really liked about Dexter was the first time I saw the intro sequence. I thought that was fantastically done because they're all like semi-metaphor. Like he cuts a grapefruit, like really slow motion. He's like cutting into flesh. He's a serial killer, so he probably does that. Or the way that he puts his shirt on, and it like stretches out on his face like he's suffocating somebody, and the way he ties his shoes, where he pulls it back like a garrote wire, which you see him do multiple times, which is pretty nice.
Dude, what gets people hooked into shows is always the introduction credits in the beginning. Ones that have hooked me and I immediately kept watching, Daredevil, just because of the score in it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Dexter's. Dexter's was really good.
Yeah.
See, The Punisher had a good one, but it's like one of those things that you watch it, and it's like, yeah, yep, same thing, over and over again. Stranger Things, just because of the older vibe to it.
The Walking Dead had a great one. Like, the first time I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be great. And then the 4th season came along, and I'm like, what the heck happened? The first season, like, a lot of people downplay the first season of a lot of shows, but I really think that that's where Walking Dead really shined.
The first season?
Was the first season.
I haven't seen a single episode of The Walking Dead.
Second season was so, like, boring, but, like, that entire time was so great once you saw... Spoiler alert, it's like 9 years old at this point.
Yeah.
When Sophia comes out of the barn, that makes the whole season worth it. And then season 3, the whole prison thing, finally meeting Tyrese, even though that's not how it happened in the comics, but whatever. Honestly, they really should have just stuck with the comics. He finally finished the comics, but they're not going to finish the show.
What?
Yeah. They plan to make the show. I heard one producer or somebody or writer maybe, I don't know, say that they want it to be like Star Trek in the case in which it doesn't end. You know how many seasons there are of Star Trek?
You know what?
Too many.
You know what happened there? People do that and they'll just try and continue it because it brings in more viewers equals more money.
Yeah.
You know what tried that and it didn't work? Game of Thrones. They ran out of books to base their shows off of, and the author did say that he was planning on basing the last couple books off of what they did for the show.
He's too lazy.
And the show sucked in the end. So,
yeah.
I think what his plan there was, if it did flop, if they made a very bad story, then he could go and write a different ending that people would enjoy. And people are like, wow, you know, the show sucked in the end, but the books continued on in a completely different way that was really good. People are like, oh, I'll buy the book.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say something and then I kind of just blanked.
Yeah, it upsets me that they try and carry it on and then it becomes too much of a good thing and then it becomes a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, Stranger Things. First episode, or first season. Almost flawless. It was really good. And they carried it on. And on.
Yeah.
And now they're on their 4th season.
Shows need to learn how to, like, stop, which is one thing that
spin-offs
Breaking
are okay.
Bad is doing well.
Spin-offs are a great thing.
Are you kidding me? You know, Frasier from Cheers? Frasier is, like, thought to be, not in my opinion, but is thought to be better than Cheers. A lot of people think that Frasier, the spin-off of the Cheers character, Dr. Frasier Crane, is better. Thus, the spin-off was better, according to popular belief. So, why don't more people do spin-offs? I don't know.
Like, The Punisher is a spin-off of Daredevil, which is a spin-off completely of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
A spin-off of a spin-off, but it's still really, really good. They canceled Daredevil because they tied it to an end to where how it would go in the comics. It's just Daredevil and then Bullseye just fighting back and forth every now and again. They can't really make another season out of that unless they tie in some sort of other element. So they spun it off and took a character from the 2nd season, the Punisher, and made a whole new story based off of him and how his family died.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a huge plot point for Daredevil, and then it continued the story but through a different perspective. If they keep doing that for TV shows and movies, then it can go a bunch of different directions. You choose what you want to follow. But if you continue the same season, same characters, same story, same everything, it won't work.
One good thing that did come out of Walking Dead was John Bernthal.
The
'Cause
Punisher.
his career exploded after that. I mean, he was in what? Fury.
The Head Rubber.
He was in best movie ever made, Night at the Museum 2. I mean, woo.
He is in the beginning of Baby Driver.
Oh right, that's a. Oh man, that's a good movie. Regardless of what Kevin Spacey did, he was a good actor. He might have been a horrible human being, but he was in Call of Duty. You're right. He is a horrible human being, but he was in Call of Duty. Anyway, I think that's a good place to end off before we say anything else
Controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mi nombre es Nate.
Me llamo Sibos.
Sibos.